The San Francisco 49ers are 9-1, and sure, they've beaten teams like the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns and the LA Rams. Sure, they held their own against the Seattle Seahawks, and Russell Wilson is great and all, but what's going to happen when they have to face a true gunslinger, someone like Aaron Rodgers that can sit back there and pick apart that defense? Well, the 49ers responded by routing the Packers 37-8. Are you kidding me? How did they do this? Well, let's take a look at the film. We're going to start off by taking a look at a play for the Green Bay Packers. Now, it's 2nd down and 5 here, and the receiver we're going to be taking a look at is Davante Adams. And he is not going to run a route. I say again, he is not going to run a route. He's just going to sit there and catch a pass. And the idea behind this is very simple. His buddy is going to block for him downfield, and Adams will just cut behind him for the first down. This is a great play to run on 2nd down and 5 because if the play gets blown up at the line of scrimmage, it's still 3rd and manageable. It's a very safe, easy play designed to get a first down. Now watch at the end of this play. He bumps Mosley there. He's very fired up, and the ref throws a flag. And if you're a Green Bay Packers fan, you may be wondering, was it really necessary for the official to throw the flag there? Well, let's talk about the situation. It's a big game, it's Sunday Night Football, and these are two of the best teams in the NFC. This game is going to go a long way for playoff seedings and things like that. And the officials are letting the teams know right away they're not going to let things get chippy or out of hand or anything like that. Now, what's interesting is the Packers gained a first down on this play, and the penalty happened after the first down. So the Packers back up to where they originally started, and they're facing a 1st and 10. It's almost like a do-over, and the officials let both teams know right off the bat they're going to call this game pretty tight, and I take the trouble to show it to you because it might come up later. Okay, let's get back to the game. It's the same drive, and the Packers are facing a 3rd and 10, and we can see right off the bat the 49ers have 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Now, they're not going to rush 7. In fact, these two guys are going to drop back into coverage. The thing is, Aaron Rodgers doesn't know which players are coming and which ones are dropping back into coverage. And of course, if there's 7 men on the line and they're dropping 2 back, that means they're sending 5. That's a blitz. But wait, there's more. Saleh also sends a corner blitz. And what's really interesting is that the corner blitz interferes with the route of this receiver. Now, the line to gain for the Packers is the 35-yard line. And of course, it takes time for these receivers to get down there. And by the time they do, the pressure is going to get home to Rodgers. One last thing. He does have a little check down on this play, but that might as well be a punt. So I can understand why Rodgers held the ball here. As long as he doesn't fumble or anything like that, he can take the sack. It's the same as the check down. But let's see what happened. The pressure does get home to Rodgers, and he does fumble the football. Nick Bosa picks it up, almost runs in for a touchdown. That's almost the 2nd time Bosa has scored this year. And the 49ers get the ball on their own 2-yard line to open this game. Wow. This play is just going to be a simple handoff to Tevin Coleman. Now, it looks like the Packers have him stacked up here, but remember, the 49ers brought Coleman in because of his pass-catching ability and his short yardage ability. And here he does a great job of maintaining his balance, staying on top of bodies, not touching the ground, and falling backwards into the end zone for a touchdown. All right, it's later on in the first quarter, and the 49ers are on the move. They hand the ball off to Jeff Wilson Jr., who cuts all the way downfield for a 25-yard gain and gets the 49ers into scoring position. That was a nice run. And this is actually a pretty cool play. I like this one. They start off by bringing Mike Person around to block this defender here. Laken Tomlinson blocks the nose tackle, and what's cool is he leaves that block and then comes over and picks off the linebacker. And Jeff Wilson Jr. just does a really nice job of running through this hole. Check it out. Excellent blocking up front and a nice run, and the 49ers kick a field goal, and they go up 10-0 in the first quarter. In fact, we're almost at the end of the first quarter now, but I'm going to show you one more play. It's a running play. Deebo Samuel will crash down on the end like this. Kyle Juszczyk will be the lead blocker, and Tevin Coleman will follow behind him. But I especially want you to watch Deebo Samuel on this play. Okay, you see he missed his block. Now Kyle Juszczyk has to block the end, and this allows the linebacker to come over unblocked and make the play. The good news is the coaches are giving Deebo Samuel a lot of reps on the field, and the more reps he gets, the fewer rookie mistakes like this he'll make. All right, let's move ahead to the second quarter. The Packers have put together a drive, and they've made it down to the 28-yard line. Now, this brings up an interesting moment in the game as far as strategy goes, because when you're playing at home and you've got a 4th down and 1, it can be tempting to go for it. When you're on the road in a big game, I like taking the points in that situation. Always take the points on the road. Here, the Packers, they're still okay here. They're only down 10-0, but they really want this, and they go for it rather than try the long field goal. And the 49ers stuff them. Let's take a look and see how they did it. DJ Jones has been a revelation this year. He's doing a phenomenal job at nose tackle, and I want you to watch how quickly he gets off his block here to make the play. And Fred Warner comes in on the backside too to help clean it up. But watch DJ Jones here. In fact, I'm going to show you this in slow motion, and he still gets off this block really quickly, and he dives in there and makes the play. That is great. Big stop, and the score remains 10-0. And now the 49ers want to start adding some more points on. Here they call a play for George Kittle over the middle of the field. And that's cute, but there's 4 Packer defenders right there. So what do you do? Well, you move them. How do you move them? Well, the 49ers send the slot receiver to the outside, and that will bring the slot corner with him. They also send Kyle Juszczyk in motion to the other side, and the linebacker will follow him. And right at the snap, like exactly at the snap, the running back will head over there too, and the middle linebacker goes with him, and all of a sudden, we see that George Kittle is one-on-one against the linebacker. This is just one example of some of the brilliant things Kyle Shanahan does pre-snap to get his guys in a position where they can come open. That is so impressive. And notice that's just a little 5-yard route, but it goes for a gain of 18 yards. Now, this was the first big play the 49ers had in a while because they kind of went cold in the second quarter. One of the reasons for this was their left tackle, Jeff School, who's filling in for Joe Staley, was a little banged up coming into this game. And he struggled a little bit, so the 49ers had to make a big decision. They had to send Daniel Brunskill in to play left tackle. And Brunskill had done all of his footwork on the right side of the formation. Now he has to come in and play a very difficult position to play in the NFL, left tackle. And keep in mind, he's just a rookie. So let's see how he did. All right, he does a good job staying close enough to the left guard that he forces the defensive end to take the long way around. I also think it's no accident that Shanahan called a designed quick pass on this play. Shanahan just seems to have this incredible understanding of his personnel, and he gives Brunskill a nice, easy one to start with. Okay, let's move on to the next play. The 49ers execute a simple handoff, and check out this block by George Kittle here. He whiffs on the block, but as you probably already know, this is the plan all along. The football is still in Garoppolo's hand, and Kittle is going to come wide open across the middle of the field. Remember, that safety's not really there because he has to help out on the deep route. The pass may have looked a little high, but when you look at it from the other angle, you'll see that the ball hits him right in the hands. First, though, we're going to take another look at Daniel Brunskill and what the 49ers did here. This time, they just have him and Laken Tomlinson double team the end. The center, Richburg, will come over and pick up the defensive tackle. And the 49ers don't really have to worry about the linebackers coming in the middle trying to disrupt the play, because the second they try something like that, the 49ers will just hand it off and Coleman will go for a 50-yard touchdown. No, they must respect the run fake here, and that's why they head over in that direction. Not a bad catch for a guy with a broken ankle. The 49ers tack on another field goal, making the score 13-0. Now they have the ball back, and as you can see, there's only 1:23 left in the half, so they have to move quickly, whatever it is they decide to do. And this is actually going to be a pretty simple play that they run here. All right, notice the corner taking an outside technique here. This means that Deebo Samuel is going to be able to get open to the inside. And that's bad news for the Packers because this is Garoppolo's first read on this play. Garoppolo gets him the football, and Deebo takes it all the way into the end zone for a 42-yard touchdown with just a minute to go in the half. Unbelievable. Now, what's really impressive about this play is the pass protection, and I'm going to show you why. Now, at first glance, it might look like the Packers are sending a 5-man blitz here, but the outside linebacker Preston Smith is actually going to drop back into coverage. What's cool is how the 49ers handle this. First of all, Brunskill, again, does a good job of staying close enough to the guard that the defensive end has to take the long way around. But he doesn't want to take the long way around, so he decides he's going to test the young rookie and give him a bull rush, and Brunskill does a pretty good job of handling that. Next, the guard, Laken Tomlinson, does a great job of identifying and picking up the extra rusher. Weston Richburg then slides over to pick up the tackle. And Mike McGlinchey, seeing that Smith is dropping back, will then slide over to the now end. And the 49ers do such a good job of this, poor Mike Person doesn't have anyone to block. So he ends up coming over to help out Weston Richburg because he wants to play too, right? Now, what's impressive about this is I can sit here after the fact and see what the Packers had done and say, sure, this guy should go here and this guy should go here. But the 49ers have to see this and react to it in real time like that. That is what is impressive to me. Okay, Packers have the ball. They're facing a 3rd down and 8, and they're backed up, and there's only 40 seconds to go, but they're down 20-0 here. They've got to get some points on the board, so they're going to try to pick up this first down. And again, we see that all the wide receivers for the Packers are covered. And this is what Deion Sanders said makes the 49ers defense so good, is that the secondary is married to the pass rush. All the receivers are covered in the secondary, and when you have a ferocious pass rush like the 49ers have, that is a deadly combination. I mean, just look at this. Look at this defensive line. It's terrifying. You have to block Bosa, Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and DeMontre Moore, who unfortunately had to leave this game with an injury, but he has, through his preseason play and his play in this game, rejuvenated his NFL career. And, for good measure, the 49ers are also going to send Fred Warner on a blitz. But here, we're going to watch the rookie phenom from Ohio State, Nick Bosa. Now Rodgers is down by contact before that ball comes out, so the Packers are able to execute a punt here. But we see that with just 24 seconds left, the 49ers are at the 49-yard line. So if they can get about 20 yards here, they're going to have a shot at a field goal to end the half. Now, we've talked before about the fact that Shanahan does a great job of putting defenders in conflict. And right here, we see that the Packers are in a zone defense, and George Kittle sets up right in the middle of these two defenders here, right in the middle of their zones. And of course, you're supposed to carry your man through the zone. But which one of these guys is supposed to carry him? You tell me. Now, after taking a quick look at it, you probably see that the outside defender is supposed to pick up the underneath receiver. And the inside linebacker, for some reason, takes a step to the outside. And why does he do that? Because he has help over on that side of the field. And of course, when he does that, George Kittle is just going to run right to the hole in the zone. Remember, that safety's not really there. Let's go back to the snap, and we're going to see exactly why that defender took a step to his right. Okay, first off, you see that he's not really watching Kittle here. He's looking in the backfield. And Garoppolo knows this. Now watch Garoppolo's right arm. He's going to pump fake it here. And when he pump fakes, that's when he moves over. It was subtle and deadly in its effectiveness. That is great quarterback play, and it gets the 49ers in field goal range as time expires in the second half. They have run up a score of 23-0 against the Green Bay Packers in one half. Now, notice here that Chase McLaughlin is kicking from the right hash, and this is not a short field goal. This is a 48-yarder. And the reason I bring this up is because in the Seattle video, if you remember, we took a look at some of his kicks with the San Diego Chargers, and we noticed that he had struggled with some of his kicks from the right hash. Well, this makes, I think, 3 consecutive kicks he's made now since then from the right hash, and like I said, that was not a short one. That was a nice long one. He had a tough break in that Seattle game, but you know what? He's bounced back pretty nicely since then. And when you take a look around the league and you see some of the problems that the Chicago Bears are having, or even Adam Vinatieri, one of the greatest field goal kickers of all time, you see how valuable it is to have a kicker like Chase McLaughlin who can go through some adversity and bounce back, who can kick from any part of the field and can make field goals from a distance. So I just wanted to make sure that I included that in this video. Okay, let's move on to the second half, and you can see that the Packers are facing a key 3rd down and 8 here in the third quarter. Now, to understand what happened on this play, we have to talk about what the definition of the passing pocket is. And what it means is the tackles on the outside of the offensive line set the depth of the pocket. And then the pocket is defined as the wall in front of it, usually in a U shape, right? Now, you see where the pocket is. You see how deep the pocket is as defined by the depth of the tackles. And what we're going to see is Aaron Rodgers leave the pocket real clearly. Watch. Okay, he has by definition left the pocket here. And this is significant because there is a rule that says once the quarterback leaves the pocket, there is no such thing as illegal contact. And there's a very good reason for this rule, which is if the quarterback takes off and starts running, the wide receivers down the field are going to start run blocking for him. So you have to be able to contact them. Now we're going to look at Richard Sherman down here in the end zone. And he makes an absolutely brilliant veteran play here. When he sees the quarterback leaves the pocket, he pushes the wide receiver out of bounds, which is legal, right? There's no such thing as illegal contact. And the reason he does this is because the wide receiver, once you go out of bounds, you cannot come back in and be the first person to touch the football. So Sherman pushes him out of bounds and then immediately runs over to the next receiver to cover him. He doesn't have to worry about that wide receiver anymore. And this is actually how the defensive backs are trained by the coaches. And it's one thing to learn about it and practice it, and it's another thing to actually do it in a game. Great job by Richard Sherman here. He is not only one of the best corners in the game, he is a savvy veteran. He knows the rules. He knows how to play this game. Inexplicably, the official throws the flag anyway and calls him for illegal contact. This was a major blown call by the officiating crew. Okay, now we also see right here that Eric Armstead is being held, and the officials throw the flag for this too. This means that it should be 4th down and 8 for Green Bay. Instead, it's 3rd down and 8 again. It's not a 1st down because of the Richard Sherman penalty, because there were penalties on both teams. It should be 4th and 8, but they're going to redo this. The Packers are going to get another shot to get this 1st down. And of course, the 49ers have another shot to stop them. And they do. Rodgers is short of the 1st down marker. But the officials throw another flag. Well, let's take a look at this one. Once again, Rodgers has obviously left the pocket. And notice Richard Sherman in the end zone here. As if to prove a point, he again gives the receiver a shove. Now, the official threw the flag because this had nothing to do with the play at all. Sherman was just proving a point to the official, and because of that, the official thought it was unnecessary roughness. I can understand why the ref made that call. This gives the Packers an automatic 1st down, and here they come up with a really nice play to get in the end zone. See that green line? Rodgers is going to flip it to the running back faster than you can blink. And the reason they do that instead of handing it off is because if for some reason the receiver bobbles that football, it's actually going to be an incomplete pass, not a fumble. This is a forward pass. It's sort of a nice, safe way to do a motion sweep there right in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Green Bay. It's a nice play. Now, after that, Richard Sherman was livid, and during the TV timeout, he had a whole conversation with the official. But you know what? Sometimes those kinds of things happen, and you have to keep your cool in the game. And when you go through adversity, you have to be able to respond. And here the 49ers did. They start with a fake handoff to the running back, and all the linebackers bite on the fake. This allows Kendrick Bourne to cut right into the middle of the field, wide open. Perfect way to start this drive. When the tone of the game changes, the 49ers change it right back. And this is one of the things that I think makes them so good. All right, let's take a closer look at this play. Now, this is a staple of the Shanahan offense. We've seen them do this over and over and over again. They get everybody moving in one direction. The defense has to obviously follow them. And as soon as they do, the 49ers come right back around, and you see the Packers trying to change directions, but it's already too late. 14-yard gain to Kendrick Bourne. This is the very next play. Again, the 49ers get everybody moving in one direction, and again they come back to the other side, but this time the Packers are ready. You see all the defenders sprinting in that direction, and just when they get going, George Kittle cuts across to the other side, and he comes wide open on the play. Oh, and that pass was beautiful. 61-yard touchdown to the best tight end in the league. Look at this pass, 45 yards in the air, and he hits him in the numbers. That is awesome. And just like that, the Packers had done all that work to get in the end zone. And just like that, the 49ers come right back and score with a quick strike. It's 30-8. And Rodgers goes down again. Unfortunately, there's a penalty on the 49ers. Let's take a look. Here you see number 91, Eric Armstead, and he is actually called for defensive holding here. This is a very rare call. What he's doing is holding the lineman in front of him so that DeForest Buckner can come around unblocked and get to the quarterback. The reason this is rare in this instance is because this is usually called on running plays. You don't see this called on passing plays very often at all. But it has happened, and in fact, I remember a game from 2009 where the 49ers were playing the Arizona Cardinals, and look, there he is, Justin Smith, the Cowboy, holding so that Aldon Smith can have a free shot at Kurt Warner. Holding on the defense. Now, watching this game, of course, I felt very frustrated that all these flags were coming in like an avalanche, but the officials did let both teams know right off the bat that they were going to be calling this game tight. Okay, the situation is what it is. The 49ers are still up 30-8. The Packers have the ball, and they're facing a 4th down and 8. Now, they're in field goal range here, but they're down 22 points in the 4th quarter. They have no choice but to go for this. Now, the 49ers have 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and again, they send 6. And we see that the secondary is married to the pass rush. All the receivers are covered, and the ferocious pass rush for the 49ers gets to Rodgers, turnover on downs. The 49ers defense dominated this game. They sacked Aaron Rodgers 5 times. He turned the ball over. He only completed 60% of his passes. His quarterback rating was a 75.8. He only threw for 104 yards, and his yards per attempt were only 3.2. Suffocating defense, and here, the 49ers send this game out with a bang. This is another fun play design that the 49ers use to ice the game. Over and over again, we've seen the offensive line move together. And here, they move in opposite directions, opening an obvious hole in the middle that the linebackers naturally run to. The great part about this is Kyle Juszczyk comes over and makes a block on the end. Mostert simply follows behind him to pay dirt. Now, number 31 there, I'm going to let off the hook because he recovers pretty nicely here. But the running back still just goes right by him into the end zone for the touchdown. The blowout is complete. The final score is 37-8, and the 49ers just seem to ace every quote-unquote test put in front of them. Well, you still have to play Baltimore. Well, you still have to play New Orleans. You know what? Those teams have to play us. The 49ers have the best record in the league, and that is no accident. They are very, very good. The sky is the limit, and they control their own destiny. Don't forget that. I want to thank all my new subscribers. This has just been a terrific ride. I love doing these breakdowns. I read every comment. Please comment. I love interacting with everybody. Like this video. It takes a lot of time to make it, so if you could just take 1 second and click the like button, I would really appreciate it. Subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will be back next week to break down the Baltimore Ravens, possibly the best team in the NFL, but we're going to find out, and I will see you guys then.